Welcome to Paul's Heart. I'm Paul, author of the book Paul's Heart Life as a Dad and a 35-year cancer survivor, available on Amazon. Here we are, the final part of my series, When the Body Tries to Warn You. And as always, I want to encourage you to go back and watch the other parts so you have the context of where I am at today. And that day had finally come. All of the tubes had come out. My PICC line was removed. All that remained were telemetry wires and a huge bandage or patch over my sternum. I wanted my daughters to come to the hospital. I needed to see them. And I know that I didn't look perfect, but I no longer looked as horrifying as I thought. Them seeing me in this bed would not scare them. And it's always the hardest thing what and how much you tell a small child what is happening. Of course, a lot of it depends on the age. And on top of that, at their young ages of 3 and 5, they'd already had a friend who lost their father to a cardiac incident. So, how I explained everything to them would make a huge difference to them. I was told that my daughters had arrived at the hospital and were on their way upstairs. I felt a huge swell of emotions as this was all I waited for, to see my daughters again, to know that I was going to have a rest of my life with them. In the distance, I could hear my older daughter talking, noticing everything in the hallway as she passed. And then there they were in the doorway. It felt like forever. You could see the excitement in their eyes to see me, but there was also confusion, like, what happened to you, Daddy? Now, my older daughter had a lot more curiosity and walked around cautiously the bed, and of course, gravitating towards what was left of the machinery, looking at all the blinking lights and numbers. My younger daughter was a lot more deliberate, seemingly moving an inch at a time. I'm so glad to see you, I told him. I missed you so much. I'm all better. The doctors took really good care of me, and I'm feeling a lot better now. I'm going to be better. It's often asked, what and how much do you say to a child when dealing with a serious issue like this? And the answer is always, you tell the truth, but you keep it age appropriate. My daughters were 5 and 3 years old, and how I greeted them was all they needed to know. You could feel the collective relief from all of us. Now, my older daughter was still busy checking things out, but my younger daughter had found her way and got lifted onto the bed. Now, this was going to be a test because a 3-year-old has no concept about a healing breastbone. Anything could happen. She sat by my waist and I grabbed her hand and I told her once again, I'm going to be okay. A few moments later, she repositioned herself, now laying her head by my pelvis, nestled almost as if she were guarding me, keeping me safe. My older daughter completed her inventory of my room, and now I had questions to answer to a 5-year-old. Now, I don't know how much of this environment actually sunk into my daughters, but I could tell the impact of them seeing me, not bouncing all over the place, completing activities, or playing with them. They knew I was not feeling perfect, but they also knew what I told them the other night, that I was going to be better. And that is what they saw. Now that I was recovered, that I made it through this harrowing surgery, another day or two, and I'd be allowed to return home. In spite of me not meeting necessarily all the unofficial requirements or benchmarks, I was released, sent home with this heart pillow made by the Women's Auxiliary at the hospital. It was used to help protect me with sudden sneezes or coughs, hugging it tightly against my chest. I still have it to this day. It's 18 years old this thing is. I'm still here to witness the many exciting memories to come since I've gotten to see both of my daughters grow up. When I get asked all the time, is this surgery worth it? The fact that I've gotten to see my daughters graduate from high school and I've now got one graduating from college in just 2 weeks. Had you told me back in 2008 that I would still be here to this day to see this milestone, even my cardiologist warned me it wasn't a question if I was going to have a heart attack that would have unalived me, but when had I gotten there any later. Now, there have been many times in my survivorship when I've heard fellow survivors experiencing that similar sensation that I had back in the beginning of this series. Besides it being a major trigger for me, I have not been wrong yet, insisting on them going to the emergency room, all of them facing that Widowmaker. This series of posts was quite heavy, but believe me, it could not be any more important. They call cardiac disease the silent unaliver for a reason. Even with symptoms, because we are scared of what we think could be happening or in total denial. And it's much better not to take any chance. Just go to the emergency room, let them either diagnose you or tell you that nothing's wrong. Just don't make that wrong decision of doing nothing. So this was me back in 2008 with my younger daughter, of course, leaning up against my breastbone with that very important heart pillow, and my older daughter sitting next to me. And I want to show you, this was at my 15-year mark. So I'm now at 18 years. I didn't get to take a picture with them, but I've got a bigger picture coming up in a couple weeks. But this was a big deal. If you are feeling that chest tightness, especially in this area, go to the ER. I won't tell you to run, but get to the ER right away. Again, let them tell you it's nothing, but if it ends up being something, you'll thank me for this warning, especially when the body tries to warn you. Until next time, this is Paul's Heart.